There we go. Well, I've been sitting here talking and nothing coming through, I'm sure. Anyways, I think we got the sound problems figured out there. We had a Windows update come through, and let's see, a week ago, I had installed the update, and it really messed with, or it seemed to be messing with my sound here. And I said, well, I better back that out. So I totally reloaded the system, backed out, and then yesterday when I was off again, I decided to try that update one more time and see if there was anything else going on with it. It seemed to be fine, but again today, having some issues. So I may just have to back out and just hold off on this latest Windows release. Not sure. We'll see if we have any continued problems with the sound here. After everything she was forced to endure, she still remained hopeful for the future, for her daughter's future. Bloodlines, level 56. And we haven't done any crafting or gathering for this expansion yet, but we'll do that maybe later. Some bonds are thicker than blood, but blood still defines us and divides us in the end. It's the legacy of our parents, Anne, and we can't escape it no matter how hard we try. So the mongrel and her pups chose to embrace theirs, to proclaim it to all and sundry. If you can understand that, then maybe you can find her on your own. Yeah, maybe we can then. All right. So, let's see where we want to go looking. Down in here, it looks like. That's what our gaming intuition is telling us here on the map. And it's going to be the broom starveling again. Still looking for your mongrel? Like I said before, take your pick. Plenty around if you know where to look. Or did you fancy someone specific? I'm looking for a mongrel with ruby red eyes and raven black hair. Oh, someone's got unusual tastes. Afraid I can't help you though. Won't, rather. It's bloody obvious you ain't of the broom. Did you think I'd just tell you 'cause you asked nicely? And let's see, Alphino. Oh, anyways, now we got the sound cleared up. How you doing today? Things going okay for you? What's on your mind? Any comments or suggestions here? We certainly appreciate it. And of course, if you prefer to sit there and lurk, that's fine too. We're here for you just to chat, play the game, or just enjoy the atmosphere together. Have you made any progress, Anne? So our mongrel was born of an Elysian nobleman and a Huron maidservant. Granted, it is no location, but it is far more information than we had before. Yes, now that her striking features are known to us, mayhap we need only remain vigilant. Mayhap, Alphino, mayhap. There must be a way we can draw the mongrel out into the open. Mayhap we should discuss this with Tataru. Speaking of which, where is Tataru? Oh, confound it, she went below to make inquiries on her own, didn't she? We must find her quickly, Anne. I have a premonition this is not going to end well. Alright, well let's go out here yet again. There's a twinkly, sparkly up ahead there. Survey, survey, survey. Casters gaze over the streets below, but see no sign of Tataru. See some kids throwing snowballs, but that's about it. She must be around here somewhere. I take it you've had no luck either? Ah, I'm sorry. Forget I said anything. Wait, down there. Isn't that Tataru? Those men are chasing her. Quickly, Anne, after them. Uh-oh, dead end.
Where do you think you're going, Missy?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
What's going on here?
What's it to you, boy? Piss off.
Hold on. I've seen them around. They're in and out of House Four Tom's Manor all the time.
Oh, I see. Skulking about at your highborn master's bidding, eh? Bloodhounds hoping to catch a whiff of heresy, is that it?
You are quite mistaken, I assure you. We came here to help. And if you know what's good for you, you will let us pass.
Haha! Listen to the pups yapping. Come here, boy. I'll give you cause to yelp.
Enough! Leave threatening women and children to our betters. We don't have the knack.
Hilda!
Lay a finger on the Blue Blood's pups, and you're like to lose the hand. And often I get called on by glorious heroes like yourself. So tell me, what have I done to deserve you?
Before you start, let's go somewhere a bit more private, eh? The Forgotten Knights say. Okay. Aha. All right, before we get going with that. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, let's see what we're in store for here. Ooh, that'll cap us at 59.
So, while you're on your way to kill Nidhogg, you stumbled on some dirty secrets that the Holy See has been hiding for centuries.
Eh? What are they on about?
The High Houses. And what makes a nobleman so bleeding noble? They trace their blood back to King Thordan and his Knights 12, the founders of Ishgard. But our friends here reckon we're all descended from the heroes of Eld. Highborn and lowborn alike. And so Ser Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, has gone to ask the Archbishop if he wouldn't mind letting everyone know.
Is he simple? The old bastard will have him executed for heresy.
Well, seems to me that's what the good sir wants. Seems he thinks a noble sacrifice will serve to prove his claims.
We cannot stand idly by and allow Ser Aymeric to do this. Ishgard has need of him.
Look, you've a good heart, I can see that. Willing to risk your neck for someone else even when his troubles ain't yours. But what's this got to do with me?
If Ser Aymeric is imprisoned in the vault, we will need all the help we can muster to breach their defenses and rescue him.
What in the hells?
Ah, the unmistakable scent of heresy. And what do we have here? The honored guests of House Fortom consorting with the Queen of Rats. Ooh, plotting insurrection, I shouldn't wonder. That won't do. Sickness is wont to fester and spread. It must be burnt out ere the infection takes hold.
I reckon Sir'd be happy to wield the irons himself. Well, so happens I've got irons of my own.
Such simple creatures, rats. Certain to attack when cornered. Let us step outside, milady. In here, your toys could hurt someone.
Right there!
You disgust me. Filthy rats!
Better take them out. There we go. Hooray, hooray!
There's no denying your gifts. A well-deserved reputation indeed.
Enough!
Whoa, that's a big jump.
Lucky bastard.
Nay, 'tis we who are lucky. Had we fought on, 'twas but a matter of time before our conflict claimed the life of an innocent bystander.
I thought the Heavens Ward might come here as well.
They came to the Temple Knights' headquarters.
Aye. Sir Grinno announced that the Lord Commander had been imprisoned under suspicion of heresy, and that the Heavens Ward had been granted full authority in his stead.
Then the Heavens Ward now commands the Temple Knights.
Those still loyal to Ser Aymeric answer to me. Alas, that amounts to but half our number. The other half, who opposed his promotion to Lord Commander, have gathered at the vault as ordered.
Bolstering the guard already, eh? If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were expected.
I take it you're in charge around here?
Hilda, and yes, the young master was just persuading me to join his lost cause. Convincing little beggar. Aye, your passion moved me. A bit. That, and the fact that we're sick of living off the leavings of our betters. If you've a mind to change things around here, then we've a mind to join you.
Let me guess, you're wondering why I chose the mongrel, right? Because it's what I am, and I'm not ashamed of it. Not anymore. Besides, even my pureblood pups have more in common with me than the lords and ladies up on high. They none of them are well-bred. Hell, some of their mothers were cast out after a spot of fun, same as mine. Story old as time, and one we're sick of hearing, which is why we took up arms. Not that we mean to hold all the blue bloods to account. Some have done right by us, I'll allow, like them in House Halionart. But enough talk. Your friend's still rotting in a cell. Let's not keep him waiting. We've been working in secret to undermine the Holy See and the High Houses, that much I'll acknowledge. But this nonsense about us throwing wide the gates for the heretics is just that, nonsense. If not you, then who? You Temple Knights, of course. Reckoned it was your beloved Ser Aymeric's doing at first, but then I heard how he lost his head. My next best guess would be the Heavens Ward. That way, they'd have the perfect excuse to go door to door through the broom, slaughter the heretics and their sympathizers in one fell swoop. But the Heavens Ward scheme did not account for Lady Iceheart's intervention, and so they have been forced to improvise. A fine bloody mess, ain't it? But the die is cast, so what's the plan? We must divert the attention of the high houses away from the city, and to do that, we need the cooperation of your allies in their service. And what makes you think I have friends in high places? You would be fools not to, given your goals. Lowborn knights are ideal recruits. Most swore fealty only out of desire for a better life. If offered an opportunity to shed the yoke and live for themselves, who among them would not at least be tempted to take it? Rare is the man eager to die for a cause he does not hold dear, but it need not come to that this day. If they and their fellow knights are deployed afield to deal with a new threat, a massing of heretics for example, then they will be unable to join in the defense of the vault. Huh. Spread false reports of an attack to get them out of harm's way, you mean? The city will not soon forget the heretics' last assault. If the high houses believe another attack is imminent, they will have no choice but to act. Can it be done? Can we trick them into leaving Ishgard? Aye. Can we keep them out for long? Not bloody likely. Make sure you're ready before I send word, because you won't get a second chance at this. Then it is decided. To the vault. The Archbishop must be held to account. And the Lord Commander granted his liberty. Hearken to me, everyone. We have two objectives: rescue Ser Aymeric and apprehend the Archbishop. We will therefore divide our forces into 2 parties. Estinian and I will make ready to breach the underground jail and search for the Lord Commander. We will not move, however, until the second party has entered the vault. I speak of your party, Warrior of Light, together with Lord Horshaphant and Master Alphino. For this plan to succeed, you will need to fight your way into the highest levels of the vault, even unto the Archbishop's private chambers. When the Heaven's Ward realize what you intend, they will fly to their master's side, leaving only a token force to guard the jail. Temple Knights loyal to our cause have already secured the entrance to the vault. Once you are within, they will signal to us. If all goes to plan, we shall rejoin you with Ser Aymeric and confront the Archbishop together. Is everyone clear as to their duties? Then let us do what must needs be done. All right. So let's go talk to the Temple Knight outside the vault. The others are in position, Mistress Anne. I will send word once you and your party have entered. All right. We'll do this one with duty support also. And let's see. Oh, we're going to have Horshaphant and Alphino actually accompany us with a miscellaneous temple banneret. All right, Alphino. Hope you can do it.
I shall show you something special.
All right, you do that.
I shall show you something special.
Away with you!
Thee!
Away with you!
Have at thee! Something special. I shall show you something special.
Yikes, I shouldn't have stood in the way of that.
My pride.
Here we go. Well, I muddled through that one. Boy, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time for a couple of those hits, wasn't I? Exorcist ring. Yeah, I can upgrade to that. Ooh, and another piece.
Focus. Release! Away with you!
I shall show you something.
Focus. Release!
I'm gonna change up my bar a little bit here, I think. Yeah, this would be more convenient. There. That way I can be sitting here doing Ver Thunder, Ver Arrow, and then just switch easily to Fire and Stone like that if I want to.
I'll cut you to pieces! I will not yield to you! I have the power! Down with you!
Bear witness! I shall show you something special.
Down with you!
I shall show you something special. I shall show you something special.
Down with you!
out of the way. Oh well, we didn't really need to do that, I guess. Priest gloves. Won't be using those, I don't think. Those should be for what? Healer? Yep.
Come!
Get used to using that embolden too, now that I've got that available.
I shall show you something special.
Oh, I can't get two of those rings. That's too bad. was not the smart move.
For the House of Leveilleur!
Filthy rats!
Filthy rats.
Get on with you!
Bear witness!
Sickness must be purged! Get on with you! Sickness must be purged! And now the final curtain!
Away with you!
This shall be a mercy! You disgust me!
Why am I not able to... Oh, that was Guerrero.
Sickness must be purged!
Right, I changed my hotbar around, didn't I?
Get on with you!
Bear!
I have my pride.
Sickness must be purged!
Wrong one. Oh, okay. Well, let's pay more attention to what
Sickness
I'm
must be
doing.
purged! Get on with you!
Whoops. Getting out of the way here.
Bear witness!
Sickness must be purged! sickness must be purged! Be done with you!
There we go. Made it through that one. Got a new action because I leveled up. Upgraded one, right? What got upgraded there? Ooh, I got a new weapon and some pants. We'll take it.
Our power! How can this be? Fall back!
Alright, Ser Aymeric.
Father, please!
For a mercy, we were not too late.
Why must you do this, Father? Nidhogg is fallen. There is no need for further deception. Now is the time to renounce the lies which led us down this path. To start anew!
And tear down the very pillars of our society? Our history, our values, everything we have built over 1,000 years? A fool to the last.
Look out!
Oh.
Go. Asisla awaits.
Lord Orchefort!
It's no good. The wound is too deep.
It refuses to mend.
Oh man, this music is just too much too.
You are unharmed. Forgive me. I could not bear the thought of... Oh, do not look at me so. A smile better suits a hero.
Well, that's a bit of a kick in the gut for sure. What did I get? Oh my, I can't put my weapon in the armory chest. I need to get rid of some stuff here. Really did feel like Horchefant would be with us forever, for sure, in that, you know, everything we did. Oh, there we go. Finally got a new recruit, so we can start working on our Grand Company squadron now. There we go. New rapier, and we got a music score. I know not what to say. The others, they're gathered at Fort Tom Manor. The others, please enter Mistress Adventure.
Don't. Please. A knight lives to serve, to protect, to sacrifice. There is no greater calling. Leave me to mourn and give chase, for my son and for the nation he loved. Go!
His sacrifice shall not be forgotten.
My son.
Parents should never have to outlive their child. I could not stand there in silence, but when all others had forsaken us, Lord Horshaphant took us in, our beacon of hope in a world of darkness. He did his utmost to raise our spirits so that we might face our troubles with courage, with conviction, so that we might face them as knights. We must press on with our mission. Hataru, pray return to your duties at the Forgotten Knight. Let us go and speak with Ser Aymeric, and I worry for his well-being.
My friends, I am in your debt.
Think nothing of it. Your wounds are healing well, I trust.
Some wounds do not heal. The Founding. The Scriptures, 1,000 years of lies, all to deceive the common man. Nay, our own brothers and sisters. For the blood of the Knights 12 flows within all our veins. You knew this to be true. You knew, and you concealed it.
I should be interested to hear how you came by this knowledge. But yes, you have the right of it. The architects of Ishgard, King Thordan and his Knights 12, entrapped and butchered the great worm, Ratatosker, that they might partake of her eyes and thereby transcend their mortal limits. Upon learning of their treachery, Nidhogg was consumed with a murderous and justified rage. I dare say you know what followed.
The great worm slew the king and half of his knights.
Aye, but Nidhogg was subdued, and his eyes plucked from their sockets by the knights that remained. Their one mistake was to show mercy. For from his brother Hreysvelger did Nidhogg receive a new eye, thus rejuvenating his form and empowering him to embark upon an eternal quest for vengeance.
Whilst Thordan's son Haldreth took one of Nidhogg's eyes and learned to wield its power in defense of his people.
Thus was the first Azure Dragoon born, and ever since that time, his honored successors have risen to drive Nidhogg from our lands whenever the worm has returned to plague us. I ask you, my son, Will you answer for my sins? Will your son and his son answer for me as well?
What do you mean?
If a man cannot atone for his sins in the course of his all too fleeting life, must his progeny then be held to account? Must every subsequent generation be judged as well? Thorin's betrayal of Ratatoskr was an unconscionable, unforgivable sin. Should we then, as his descendants, meekly surrender ourselves to an eternity of punishment? Nay, say I. I would not see our children sacrificed in a vain attempt to appease an implacable foe. Dragons are not like us, my son. To they who live forever, the wrongs of antiquity are as those of yesterday. No reparations shall ever suffice. This fact alone should serve as ample justification for our actions. Yet some refuse to see it as such. For men like you, who yearn to commit themselves to a nobler cause, a more compelling narrative is required.
This is your solution. This is how you protect our people. You have given us a lost cause, a death sentence. With your compelling narrative, you but doom our countrymen to give their lives for a lie.
And they do so gladly. Highborn and lowborn alike are proud to serve, to fight and die for their country. And what would you say to them? What would you tell the wives who have lost their husbands? The mothers who have lost their sons? That their loved ones died for naught? Over the course of 1,000 years, countless men have donned these robes, and every one of them came to accept the necessity of this solution. Once, I hoped you might come to accept it as well. Do not despair, my son. Soon I shall free us from the sins of antiquity, and bring about the change you so fervently desire. If he has spoken with others, I would have their names. Escort him to a cell and question him thoroughly.
Your Eminence.
You saw something, did you not? A vision of the past?
So this is the power of the Echo. Would that it had shown you a finer moment from my past. 'Twas an exercise in futility, as you saw. Faced with the firmity of his conviction and his many ready rejoinders, my words deserted me. To be frank, I am embarrassed to recall it.
A friend once impressed upon me the importance of differentiating between words, deeds, and beliefs. Were he here, I suspect he would judge your father's conviction to be no more than rank, self-serving delusion. Even so, I cannot help but wonder what manner of change he intends to bring about.
I have given some thought to that as well. During the battle within the vault, The Heaven's Ward demonstrated strange and unnatural abilities.
Aye, the manner in which Ser Zephyrin struck down Lord Haurchefant was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
The spectacle called to mind King Thordan and his Knights 12 as they are depicted in scripture, holy powers and all.
Mere fabrications, which have become objects of faith, instilled with the belief of countless devoted souls. 7 hells!
If Lady Iceheart can use her own body as a vessel for summoning, I see no reason why others could not.
Are the Heaven's Ward truly so reckless?
Unbelievable.
As they fled, my father spoke of Aziz La. Though I know not what he intends, I fear no good shall come of it. His ambitions are too great, and his minions too powerful. We must find the Heaven's Ward and stop my father before it is too late.
Mistress Adventurer, Master Alphino, I, Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, do hereby entreat the aids of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Our aid in preventing whatever it is that the Archbishop intends? Your aid in bringing him to justice. Too much blood has been spilled for the lies he perpetuated. No more. Let's see. I shall pursue him to the end of the world if I must. I thank you, Anne. I have heard many men make such pledges, but you speak in earnest. Much has changed since our order's founding, but our duty to combat the primal threat has not. If the Archbishop and the Heaven's Ward are guilty of the crime of summoning, then Anne and I will stop them. Would that I could join you in the pursuit, but alas, my father's absence has thrown our government into chaos. Ever since the founding of our nation, there has been an archbishop to serve as a guiding light for the masses, a force for stability to counterbalance the high house's ceaseless maneuvering. Convincing the people to recognize the truth of our origins would have been difficult even with my father's support. The road ahead is that much more fraught with peril without it. Yet walk it we must, for unity is more vital to our survival than ever. After all, Nidhogg's death did not mark the cessation of Dravanian hostilities. Far from it. We will have great need of each other in the days to come. You may ever count on my lance, Ser Aymeric. To my dying breath I shall defend Ishgard from the Horde. If I may, Lord Commander, I would like to assist the Scions in their search for the Archbishop. Anne, Master Alphino, pray attend me outside. Very well. With me, Anne, I believe we have much to discuss. And if you're just joining us, welcome. We're happy to have you here, whether you choose to chat or just lurk, enjoy the game and the atmosphere. How are you doing? Hope everything's all right with you this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Drop us a comment down in the chat if you got any comments or suggestions too. We'd appreciate hearing about it. We just got through a big kick in the gut for sure. Haurchefant just died protecting our warrior of light here. Very tough moment in this part of the expansion for sure. The Soleil was eastward bound, so I sent word to Camp Cloudtop on the off chance the airship passed nearby. Sure enough, Lady Laniata informed me that it had been sighted by her scouts. Then the Archbishop is somewhere in the Sea of Clouds. or was not long ago. The airship has not been seen since it disappeared into the northern reaches near the Blue Window. Alas, because the region is firmly held by the Vanu Vanu and not easily accessible from Camp Cloudtop, House Halinair has yet to establish a foothold. We will need not only an airship, but a captain bold enough to risk the Beastman's wrath. I think we both know the perfect candidate, Anne. Let us pay a visit to Master Garland at the Skysteel Manufactory. I see. Then I will take my leave for now. There are other matters which require my attention. Alright, and I think before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and catch up a little bit on my Red Mage quests here. Yeah, I've got a level 56 waiting for me. Back at Camp Aleport. Boy, I'd forgotten where we left off with that. Catch up a little bit on these. Down here. There he is. I have spoken with Arya, but it seems her memory has yet to return. The incense used must have been potent indeed to create such a lasting fog. If she cannot recover naturally, then we must rely on some familiar sight or event to jolt her senses back to normalcy. Might I ask that you take her out somewhere to test my theory? She seems far more comfortable around you after all. At the very least, I would know from whence she hails. I shall call once more upon my acquaintance in the Yellow Jackets. Surely she has family who are searching for her. Anne, thank you again for letting me out of that crate. I had such a lovely sleep. That awful tiredness has left me, but I still can't seem to remember anything. Outside, well, yes, I suppose a fresh breeze might help to blow away the cobwebs. I think I'd like to see the view from the battlements. Will you join me up there, Anne? Look, isn't it beautiful? I've never seen anything so... Is this truly the first time I'm seeing this view? I try to remember, but my mind is a blank page. I can be sure of nothing. I forget such things myself. Anne, have you lost your memory as well? Or... no. You just mean you're forgetful, don't you? I appreciate you trying to make me feel better. I honestly do. I'd much rather laugh than brood over what I've lost. I think I'll stay up here a while longer, just to be sure I'll remember it tomorrow. Oh, do you see that ship? How do they keep such massive things afloat? Fond of ships, are you? Why, yes, I am. I think I might always have been. What an insightful question. Well, it was one of two that the game designers provided me, but thank you. I remember when I was a child, I would always beg my uncle to... Oh, I remember. I had an uncle. He was my only family. He tried to protect me, but... Forgive me. The exact events are still a jumble, but the memory was not a pleasant one. That day, it's all coming back in a rush. Do you think we might return to the inn? I need a moment or two. The Yellow Jackets were able to dig up a report on Arya from their records, and I hurried back to share the news. But seeing as her memory of the incident has returned, I'd rather hear the tale from the source, as it were. From what I can recall, I'd always lived with my uncle. He was a kind, gentle man who would often tell me stories of my parents. I was young when they died, too young to remember them, I think. The report mentioned that you were citizens of Limsalomensa. Do you remember where you were when the attack came? Yes, we were on the road to somewhere. The ambushers appeared as if from thin air, and my uncle stepped forward to shield me. They killed him. What happened after that is a blur, but my memory of that moment is crystal clear. Thank you, Arya. You needn't force yourself to remember the rest. For now, we must concern ourselves with your future. It would not be charitable to send you back to town alone, especially not with significant parts of your memory still missing. Yet, we cannot ask you to accompany us either. Our journey leads us on a path to confront the very cabal whose malevolent embrace you have but recently escaped. I would go with you even so. You saved my life and helped me accept the loss of my past. If there's a chance my memories could return and lead you to these villains, then I would stay at your side. How can I refuse such passion? It seems we've adopted a new companion, Anne. The greatest challenge facing us now, however, is deciding on our next destination. The merchantman has fled, and we know not whither it is bound. Isles of Umbra. I remember. They were the only words I heard them speak before I blacked out. Isles of Umbra, the Master calls. These puppets do not, nay, cannot, speak idly. Ready yourself, Anne. We cross to the Isles of Umbra and confront this master of theirs. You as well, Arya. We fight together. Right, to the Isles of Umbra. We could fly there or just save us a little time by porting over that way. Oh, thank you for the follow, Lily. I appreciate it. How are you doing today? Oh, looks like we have a glowing event point here. The Maelstrom soldiers tell of a steady stream of tight-lipped arrivals. It would seem the Master gathers all the marionettes to the Isles. I armed Arya with what I had, but... Oh, heard that. Yep. Well, thank you for joining us for some back burner entertainment, I hope, anyways. I can fight. Fight? You can barely talk, lass. I thought her afraid of the mages who took her, but nay, 'tis the thought of ghosts and ghouls which have her all a-tremble. Can you blame me? The very ground here feels haunted, as if angry spirits might burst forth at any moment. Like that shadowy thing behind you? What? There's not there, lass. Now, can we get a move on, or would you rather head back to Aleport? I'm coming with you. Alright, we'll be capped at level 58 here, it looks like. Alright, see if I can muddle my way through this one here. we got to find the Cabal's camp. Well, we might as well... Okay. What's this thing back here? Big boy. Yay, did it. The hand that controls these assassins cannot be far. Let's split up and search, shall we? Yell if you run into trouble. Delectable. Your mortal frame brims with vital energies, an irresistible feast. Anne, are you unharmed? Lambard? A pleasure to see you, Shroon. My, how the years have etched themselves upon your brow. This smirking bastard is Lambard. We were allies once. Ah, yes, the valiant Crimson Duelists. Such fond memories, I relished their slaughter. The duelists live on through me, traitor. Not for long, my old friend. You shall soon share their fate. Anne! Oh. Nice one, Arya. Crude interruptions. This is not how I wish to savor your defeat. Lambard, gods damn you. You knew that man? Yes, we'll speak of it later. First, I would know where you learned to cast spells like that. I don't remember anyone teaching me. It just sort of happened, and I guess I had this big staff in my back pocket, too, all this time. Just sort of happened. I expected you to club things with that old scepter, not fling balls of fire. Incredible. So, Arya, does this mean you've overcome your fear of the undead? What are... Ah! Well, my friends, shall we return to Aleport? Now that we've unmasked the Cabal's master, I can tell you this much. He is not a man we wish to confront unprepared. As was apparent through our unpleasant exchange, I have a history with this master of the assassins. His name is Lambard. 20 years ago, he and I were part of the group who founded the Crimson Duelists. We studied the fated teachings passed through generations of Girabanians and revived the art of red magic as a weapon against tyranny. But one day Lambard simply snapped. He murdered my unsuspecting comrades and vanished into the shadows. I returned from scouting alone to discover the aftermath of a massacre. It was later that I learned his treachery had been paid for with Imperial coin, but never could I find what became of the man himself. After 20 years of fruitless searching, I thought him dead. This has now become a matter of vengeance. I mean to pursue Lambard and exact a price for his betrayal, but I will not ask you to join me in this vendetta. Worry not, Anne. Your grasp of red magic will allow you to grow without the need for a teacher. As for you, Arya, I will arrange a suitable sanctuary. I'll not turn you out to fend for yourself. I shall treasure the time we spent together, my friends. May our paths cross again. Should we let him just go off alone like that? I don't know about you, but I feel my part in this is not over. Alright, let's see here. There he is. Yes, Anne? Was there something else? I will go with you. This is not your battle, my friend. I will deal with Lambard alone, or die in the attempt. You... I can see I'm wasting my breath. You have that determined look that so impressed me the first time we met. Very well, we stand together then. You are more comrade to me now than student, Anne, and I welcome your sword at my side. I'm coming too. I want to help save others from this monster just as you saved me. I want you to teach me red magic. As things stand, I'm just a burden to you. If I'm to do more than be carried along in your wake, I need my own way to make a difference. You certainly do have an aptitude for the arcane. Lambard appears to target such use for recruitment into his puppet cabal. But Anne rescued you from that mindless fate, and now you would don the red to fight in our crusade. There's a sense of rightness to it, isn't there? Stand with us then, Arya. Join the ranks of the Red Mages. Yeah, here's some Red Mage gear I happen to be carrying around with me. Anne, Shroon, you look splendid. Help me train her as I trained you, Anne. I'll pay close attention, I promise. Oh, and Arya, there'll be no more hiding behind Anne, is that clear? I'll try to be brave. All right, 56. I'll go ahead and do the next ones. Maybe we can finish out through 60 here before we continue on with the main story. Lambard and his puppets are acting under Imperial orders, that much is certain. Ever since we thwarted the attempt on Master Wilken, however, it would seem they have abandoned him as a target. The merchant's life is not worth all the assassins we cost them, I'd wager. But it will only be a matter of time before the Cabal is given new prey to hunt. I've called in a favor with a friend to investigate possible targets, and he's agreed to meet us at Hawker's Round in Limsa Lominsa. Then off to Limsa then we will go. They said Hawker's Round, how close here? Yep, right there near the Ether Shard. Hey, good old Riol here. This fine gentleman here is Riol, a former member of the Company of Heroes. He's been helping us with our investigation since before we left for Ailport. Ah, the two of you have met, I take it. Damn straight. It's good to see you, Riol. Good to see you too, lass. Mr. Redbritches here didn't mention you was on the road together. Anyhow, let's get straight to business. I did some digging into that floating fortress of your cabal. The merchantman dabbles in a bit of trading to keep up the charades, so I started paying attention to where the goods ended up. And I think you'll find that Lambard gets his orders from the Imperial base in northern Thanalan, Castrum Meridianum. That's your best bet, I reckon. You are a treasure, Riol. I'll pass on any new information we manage to uncover. For the now, though, consider that favor repaid in full. And Arya to the drowning wench. Alrighty. Right. We have our destination, so let's discuss the objective. We need to storm Castrum Meridianum and locate documentation on Lambard's next target. Ha! A poor choice of words, perhaps. To clarify, one of us will provide a diversion while the other two slip inside and rifle through desks until we find what we're looking for. Better? And you will be our decoy. Draw away as many of their sentries as you can and buy us the time we need. Arya, we will run you through some practice exercises. I see you have been honing your skills on various beasts, but this will be your first battle against thinking opponents, yes? Very well. Make your preparations, my friends. We meet at Ralban's Push. Okay, let's head on over there then. There you are. Right, just as we planned. And do your best to become the center of Imperial attention. Arya, you're with me. Once inside, we'll split up to hasten our search, so steel yourself for run-ins with patrols. I hope I'm ready for this. Just keep your head and you'll be fine. You've not quite reached Anne's level of skill, but your offensive magics are, to be quite honest, terrifyingly powerful. Your restorative arts, on the other hand, well, let me just say that the scales swing both ways. I've known others who tend to favor one area over another, but rarely have I met such an extreme case as you. Not to worry, we will work on your weaker aspects until you find an equilibrium. Such is the key to excelling in red magic. Now, let us set to work. Head around to the front of the base and make a nuisance of yourself, Anne. With the growth you've shown, I'm certain you can handle whatever those Imperials throw at you. We'll be sneaking in from the backside while you hold their attention. Please try not to fight all of them at once. I will try. Survey the area and engage any foes that appear. got here? Oh, okay. A little purple glowing spot there. We'll pull out Mr. Choco and see if maybe he can get a little experience off these as well. Well, that was like pretty badass there. Oh, that's right, because we're level 66, they're just falling like nothing here. Yeah, we're not level capped or anything here. Oh, I'm doing the wrong spell. Here we go. Alright, now we're back to the back. Uh-oh, stun. Okay. Now rendezvous with Mr. Shroom. You don't do things by halves, do you, my friend? I could hear the commotion from the other side of the wall. Our foe was so focused on your battle, I dare say we could have walked out with an entire shelf of records. As things stand, however, we contented ourselves with the knowledge of Lambard's forthcoming operations. There is much to discuss. I suggest we withdraw to the cerulean plant that we might converse in relative safety. Ah, but it would seem the experience has taken its toll on poor Arya. Are you able to walk, my dear? Alrighty then. I see the color has returned to your cheeks, Arya. Do you feel any better? Much better, thank you. I may have been pushing too hard to perfect my white magics. From what I witnessed, I'd say you have much work yet ahead of you. Keep at it. I will. Let us return to the subject at hand, shall we? We uncovered documents detailing the Empire's deployment of the Cabal, and it is much as we surmised. The Cabal's assassins spirit away youths with arcane aptitude, much like our Arya here, and deliver them to Lambard for branding. Once the cursed sigil has destroyed their wills, he fills their empty minds with lethal thaumaturgy, and conditions them to follow his every command. It seems, however, that the formation of the Cabal itself was a relatively recent development. Lambard received imperial orders to organize his puppets into an expendable force, a fearless, unswervingly loyal cult of assassins that could strike against resistance supporters in lands beyond the Empire's reach. This plan, as well as Lambard's involvement, was proposed by the Crown Prince Xenos, heir apparent to the Emperor. Even within the Imperial legions, this man has a reputation for cold brutality. Aside from his mastery of red magic, Lambard is well versed in ancient spells and rituals. Doubtless this knowledge, coupled with his regular lack of moral character, did much to curry the favor of a monster such as Xenos. And now we come to the Cabal's next assignment. I could scarce believe my own eyes even as I read the details of the operation. Lambard's next target is the Garland Ironworks, Aye, the company of engineers founded by the great Sid Garland. What? As a sanctuary for Imperial defectors, the Ironworks has long drawn the ire of the Empire, and if that wasn't reason enough, the company has also begun sharing engineering secrets with the Alamegan Resistance. To my knowledge, this will be the highest profile enemy the Cabal has ever been deployed against. But the operation will not target Sid himself. They have a far more effective method in mind. The plan is to assassinate Garland's senior staff, and the name at the top of their list was Jesse, his deputy president. Oh no, not Jesse. Sid's ideas cannot be brought to fruition without a talented team of engineers, and the organization itself will grind to a halt without Jesse's expertise. Her loss would be a dark day for Eorzea indeed. I've communicated the details of the planned assassination to the Ironworks. Unlike Master Wilkins' case, however, Lambard has been ordered to succeed at any cost. He will keep sending his killers until the deed is done, or we put a stop to this cabal for good. And that means bringing down Lambard himself. Anne, Arya, I will need your aid. Sharpen your swords and ready your spells, for we are going to war. And level 60 gives us manification. Okay, that's a 2-minute cooldown. That bumps black and white by 50. Okay. Lambard will be preparing to move on the Garland Ironworks. According to the plans we viewed, they know that Jesse is scheduled to accompany a delivery to the Alamegan Resistance. The ambush itself will be sprung on the outskirts of Revenant's Toll as she makes her way to a waiting airship. It should be a simple matter for us to lie in wait in Mordona and take the ambushers and Lambard by surprise. Our success will, of course, hinge upon Jesse's cooperation, and I've arranged to meet her to hammer out the finer details. Pray, travel ahead to Revenant's Toll, and we will find you on the terrace above Rowena's House of Splendors. I'm sorry, were you looking for me? I just felt more comfortable waiting in the corner. Oh, Shroon and Jesse are here. Right, I've heard all about this big plan to murder me. I'm surprised no one's tried it before, considering how the company starts to fall apart the very instant I leave the room. Any road, I understand that you and Miss Adventurer here are in charge of keeping me alive while I make my merry way to the airship. Is that correct? Lambard's been instructed to bring his entire cabal to bear on this operation. As long as they've no hint that we're onto their plan, then we stand a chance of wiping out the lot of them. I only wish we could manage it without exposing you to danger. Maybe we could, if I pretended to be Jesse. Dress you up as the deputy president? That's actually a rather clever idea. Let's get the girl a costume then. I'm not afraid to act as bait, but when push comes to shove, I'll only be in your way. We'll need to do something about that hair. And add a few extensions, and I guess she's good to go. There we go. From a distance, no one will be able to tell the difference. It's just, up close you're a bit short. Can we stretch you out by a fulm or so? Stretch me out? I'm only pulling your leg, lass. I appreciate what you're doing for me. If you're ever in need of a favor, I'll be happy to pay you back in kind. See ya, Jesse. The Ironworks airship will arrive soon at the cliffside outside town. Arya will make for the vessel whilst pretending to be Jesse, and you, Anne, will act as her bodyguard. We still have a little time until the airship is scheduled to depart. Make whatever preparations you need, then meet me by the Aetheryte. The time has come. The Ironworks airship makes ready to depart, and our battle with the traitorous Lambard fast approaches. There is, however, one thing I have never been able to reconcile. Why did Lambard sell his soul to the Empire? He was the duelist's most brilliant scholar, and not the kind of man who would betray his homeland for vulgar coin. I was baffled when I heard the Empire had bought his loyalty. But no matter his reasons, the crime he committed was unforgivable, and we shall bring him to justice. Let us see the deed done, my friends, to the southeast gate. Alrighty. This is it. Arya, take the path towards Silvertear and keep up the pretense as best you can. The airship is waiting near the Keeper of the Lake, but we can be sure the assassins will make their move before you arrive. And it will be up to you to protect Jesse on the road. Rather than let them flank us, I will intercept the large group meant to fall upon you from the south. You continue to surprise me with the potency of your offensive magics, Arya. With the progress you've shown, I have little doubt you could hold your own against one or two of those mindless assassins. But I must ask that you do not engage in combat unless absolutely necessary. The goal is to lure Lambard himself into the fray, and our charade must be convincing, and should be more than a match for his puppet underlings. I have no doubt of that. Right then, off I go. Let's see, before I get on with this, I need to take just a brief break for a minute or two, and I shall be right back. All right, thanks for your patience. I am back. Let's get this show on the road here. See what we got to do to get through this one here. Okay, the circle. The purple circle. No more. Okay. That was some battle. Are you ready to continue on? I'll go ahead as before. You make it look so easy. Hello? Yes, Anne has defeated every ambush so far. Very good. I've just finished mopping up the flanking group and will take up position near the airship. We continue with the charade for now. Make to board the airship as planned. Anne and I will conceal ourselves nearby until Lambard makes his move. He should have few of his puppets left and will be forced to take action directly. That's when we strike. Together. Did you hear all that, Anne? Let's keep moving then. There it is. Aha, of course it's a glowing event point. Should cap us at 60, I would imagine. Oh, 62. How about that? Alrighty. Oh, thank you, Lily. I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, do you play Final Fantasy XIV? Just curious. I know a lot of folks around here do. And do you have your own channel? I'd like to at least find out what other folks are doing as well. I'm fairly new. I've only been doing this a couple months now. What have we here? An imposter? Would seem I have fallen victim to a child's ploy. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I've enjoyed the game for a while myself. I'm mediocre at best, I think, but certainly enjoy playing through it. I've gone through the story lots of times, I guess. But yeah, it's a fun game, and a good community too. Your cabal is in ruins, Lambard, and this time you'll face the consequences of your crimes. But first I must know, why did you turn coat for the Empire, after all we had achieved together? Ah, still the same simple shroon, the same tiresome idealism. Your point? How many lives did we save, you and I? And what did that truly accomplish? The ancient art of red magic is capable of so much more. A red mage restricts the source of his mana, but accelerates the effect of his spells via the medium of his own physical form. And what would befall such a mage who then attempted the same techniques whilst channeling the vast ethereal energies of nature? A fool's endeavor. The wielder would be consumed. Just so. And there we see the true potential of the art. Imagine the incredible powers we could unleash were we not caged within these prisons of flesh. It was in the wisdom of the ancients that I discovered the means to transcend our limits, a method to transform one's vessel and command ever grander magics. The price to be paid, however, was a costly one. Restructuring my body required years upon years spent in arcane slumber. And was it worth it? To surrender that which makes you mortal? I freed myself from my chains. I now command energies greater than any found in the black or the white or the red. The Crimson Duelists were merely my first step towards greatness. Noble sacrifices for a greater cause. You damnable fiend! My art is unfettered by weak-minded taboos. You cannot best me with your feeble red magics. Never once did I lose a duel to you. This day will be no different. You always were the better fighter. I've barely succeeded in giving you a scratch. Hey, Blackheart over on D-Live, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. How are you doing today? But a single scratch is all I need. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. You see, as a consequence of my transformation, my strength lies not in harming your body, but in draining your spirit. Once I have wounded you, your life force belongs to me. You... Shroon, no! Well, well, you yet draw breath. But not for long. I shall send you to Thal's realm with the answer to your question, my reason for joining the Empire. My new form allows me to wield spells of a magnitude denied to ordinary mortals. But I must feed. If I fail to consume sufficient life energies, then I am afflicted with a terrible hunger. My work as an assassin provides me with fresh prey and an ideal environment within which to pursue my research. I am eternally grateful to Xenos for his rare and generous understanding. I love those outfits, those hats and masks. You speak of achievements, but the constraints of red magic offered naught but frustration. And now, after 2 decades of futile resistance, is your struggle finally over? My friends, you must flee. This is far from over. Students of red magic, are you? Come then, show me how you resist the advent of your own destruction. Okay, I'll try. What is he doing? Ouch. Uh-oh, that's not good. Uh-oh, this is not good at all. Yep, Petey failed. Let's see, what's the trick for that one? Am I just not doing enough damage fast enough, or what? Let's think here. What did I miss doing here? Yeah, Embolden could increase my damage a little bit during that time. Could try that. could use some of my other skills. Let's see, Moulinet. Yeah. Yep. That will do. That would be AoE. Alright, well, let's give it another shot. See if I can make my way through it or not. Yeah, we'll put it on very easy. That sounds good. And we'll skip through this. Oh. There we go, we cleared out a spot. Oh, thought I got that heal off on her in time. Alright. Guess I didn't. Let's try again. Come on. Oh, there it is. All right. There's the skip. Oh yeah, you really shouldn't run through those. You just can't stay out of the puddles, I guess. Whew. My comrades, you are champions of the Red. Shroon, you mustn't try to move. I'm not dead yet, lass, though it was nice that you thought to avenge me. What a miserable pair we make. The last of the Crimson Duelists staining the ground scarlet with our blood. And I cannot even claim this final vengeance as mine. That honor goes to my students. Ah, but there lies the difference between you and me, Lambard. Your puppets follow your commands without question, but they'll not carry on your legacy after you're gone. Is that what 20 years of struggle has taught you? I admit the sense of justice with which you inflict others has delivered you victory, on this day at least. But the fates are known for their spiteful twists of fortune. Take this aria of yours. I'm fine. It was a trying battle is all. Will this be the injustice which breaks you? A pity I will miss your suffering. Lambard knew something, and it seemed to amuse him. Are you truly all right? I feel much recovered, honestly. We should return to Revenant's Toll. It's still an effort to remain upright, but I believe I'll live. Seeing how you countered the technique which felled me was a proud moment indeed. You and Arya make a fine team. It only took us a couple tries, but we managed to do it, didn't we? I expect the Deputy President will be along shortly. You have my thanks. Had you not uncovered this plot, I would almost certainly be dead by now. It's quite a sobering thought. 'Tis Anne and Arya who most deserve your gratitude. I was busy bleeding to death whilst the two of them vanquished the assassin's master. Is that so? Well then, feel free to send the bill for any expenses incurred on this operation to Sid himself. Okay. With Lambard's death, so too will his cabal of assassins cease to plague us. For much of my life, I have lived with failure, the loss of my homeland, my inability to help prevent the calamity, but I chose to fight on in the face of these defeats. It has taken 2 decades to right the wrongs of my past, yet finally have I managed a tangible victory for my home and for Eorzea. You have made this possible. Thank you, my students, my comrades. And that's all the Red Mage quests for Heaven's Word. Let's see, then this new skill, what was that again? Oh, and it bumps black and white mana by 50. Okay, that'll be a handy one to use. Give us a quick bump. Alright, so back on with the story. Let's go back to Ishgard. What did I do? Yeah, I went to the right place. Ah, the dastardly duo. What mischief have you two been getting up to lately? You haven't heard, have you? Hardly know where to start. Oh, I'd forgotten about Horschiefant for a moment there while I was doing Red Mage. Now I'm sad again. Oh. He was a good man. Sid, have you ever heard of Azus Law? The Archbishop spoke of it before he fled. No, but it's probably some sort of phenomenal cosmic power that's key to his plans. From what he told Anne, the Ascians tried to tempt him as they tempted Gaius with the Ultima weapon. Even if he spoke true about playing along, I can see him attempting to seize it. As if we needed another reason to pursue him. Well, I'm convinced. The Enterprise is at your disposal. Come to the airship landing when you're ready to depart. It's just as well. After pulling you out of the fire these last few times, I reckoned I was due to deliver you into it. Into the fire, is it? In that case, I should inform Tataru of our plans. Pray, go on ahead to the airship landing. I shall join you anon. The boys have been hard at work preparing for our flight, and I'm pleased to say we are ready to depart. That is, as soon as a certain... Ah! Pray forgive me my lateness. Tataru and I had much to discuss. We still have no news of the missing scions, but she assures me that Urianger and Riol are pursuing promising leads. Come, we can continue this discussion aboard the Enterprise. The others are waiting for you aboard the Enterprise, Anne. Shall we get going? Yes, we shall.
to the northern reaches of the Sea of Clouds, where countless isles yet remained uncharted. In search of a mysterious land known as Azizlar, and the unmasked villain who sought to claim its secrets. Oblivious to the new threat which followed in their wake, they came.
From here, Camp Cloudtop looks rather far. Be on your guard, Anne. The Vanu could be anywhere, even watching us as we speak. Assuming the Soleil is here, I doubt she will come to us. We should begin searching the Isles in earnest. Of course, we must remain vigilant for Vanu scouts as well. I would rather avoid needless bloodshed. Hey, and there's a convenient ether current up ahead here. You search the skies for the Soleil, but see nothing resembling the missing airship. All right, continue on then. Aha, one of these. Oh, we need to stand lookout on top of that. That's going to max us at 59. Okay. Mayhap this effort was doomed to failure. Begs mercy of Netherlings, does not fight, does not wish to die. Was that a Vanu being attacked? But by whom? Over there. Imperial troops. Ishgardians, seize them! They'll know where the Archbishop is. The enemy of my enemy. We've no choice. With me, Anne, protect the Vanu.
Protect me!
Oh, there's a medicus back there. There we go. Medicus. Target him. Here we go. Well, made it through that one then. A little stumbling, but we made it. Netherlings saved Lanu Vanu from certain death. Showers Netherlings with thanks like summer squall. Lanu Vanu knows not what wind bears Netherlings to cloud sea, but warmly welcomes them, shows gratitude where gratitude is due. Lanu Vanu owes much and more to Netherlings. As saviors, as heroes, Zundu welcomes you. To village we go, to north, come, come. So the Garleans were searching for the Archbishop and believed that the Vanu Vanu knew something of his whereabouts. Methods notwithstanding, they may have had the right of it. I conclude that we should accept Lanu Vanu's offer of hospitality and visit his village. .134 to the north for the next ether current. There it is. Next current, not too much further north. Tag that summoning stone. Like breeze guides leaves to rest, come and lay down your burdens, Netherlings. Lanu Vanu throws wide arms in greeting. Behold, Akzundu. Behold, behold, behold. A far warmer welcome than the one you received from the Vundu, I think. Ha! Vundu bluster and blow hither and yon. Sound and fury like aimless gale. Huh? What unseen lightning begets such thunderous report? There you are. Did you see it? It's that damned flying whale again. The Imperials are after it. Where? The White? He's wounded. By the 12, did the beast just eat that island? Oh, insatiable White, oh, devourer of worlds, why must you torment us? Ah, Lanu Vanu wastes no more words on his unfathomable deeds. Come, Netherlings, come and break words with Chief of Zundu. With wisdom deep as nethers and eyes clear as cloudless blue, Sanu Vanu speaks for Zundu. Hearken to his words. Netherlings deliver Lanu Vanu from claws of steel-shod fiends and prove nobility. He knows not to ignore Zephyr winds and brings before you with all haste. Soft rains to soothe the heart and sunshine to warm. Gratitude of Sanu, Chief of Zundu, is boundless. We are honored to meet you, Chief Sanu. I am Alphino Levier, and these are my companions, an adventurer and Sid Garland. We are come in search of an airship, a flying vessel of the Nethers, which we believe is somewhere in the Cloud Sea. Ah, like to black steel-shod contraption from which you save Lanu Vanu? Alas, no. That ship belongs to the Garlean Empire, an old enemy of ours, though not the enemy we are looking for at present. The men we seek wear armor of purest white and are led by an older man in white robes. Wait, Lanu Vanu hear tell of these Netherlings. You do? Are you certain? As sun rises and falls and returns, we are. Zundu scouts can testify to words of Lanu Vanu. Aye, winds carry purpose of Netherlings to our ears as well. Netherlings seek key to Azys Law. Now we're getting somewhere. Tell us, Chief Sanu, what exactly is this Azys Law? Beware, Netherlings, for blackest clouds portend greatest danger. Look not into heart of tempest. There lies ancient birthplace of sin, home of forbidden secrets. To speak more is to call the wind. But the white devours isle where key is kept. Deep within bowels of mighty Bismarck it lies, beyond reach of the foolhardy, and beyond ours. Rejoice not in his gluttony, Lanu Vanu, for as stone gives way to water and wind, all yields to the white. This he knows, Chief Sanu. Madness of Vundu bodes ill for all Vanu. Oh, there's another ether current. Next one's further north. Black and white. So, as this law is home to forbidden secrets, accessible only to the bearer of a key which the Archbishop covets, much as I would like to believe it's safe within the belly of Bismarck, the Knights of the Heavens Ward wield primal powers. If we do not slay the whale and claim the key first, they surely will. Quite how we will go about it is another matter. As was the case in our battle with Leviathan, we are out of our element, and this time we have far fewer allies to call upon. Be that as it may, our customary approach still holds true. We must begin by learning more about the White. Let us each question the residents of the village, then regroup and share our findings anon. If netherlings seek knowledge of the White, then speak with Kanu Vali, foremost keeper of tales. But neglect not to present self with humility and respect. As sun yields to moon and moon to sun, netherlings must greet Kanu Valley with a bow. Alright. And since I'm here in the Sea of Clouds, I'm going to go ahead and knock out this ether quest here. Knock out our first ether currents quest in this area. Good day to you, adventurer. What can I do for you? I have a frayed battle standard for you. The battle standard of the Steel Vigil, charred by flame just as I remember, though there is much I wish I could not remember from that day. In the wake of the calamity, we were all but defenseless, and Svara and Safet saw fit to give us no quarter. I should hope to never again see a battle so bloody. He laid down his life for our nation, for the few of us who escaped with our lives. A true leader to the bitter end, and I will always treasure the years spent under him, but I am not worthy of a memento such as this. Though she may be reluctant to accept it, Lady Lanayata should be the one to have this. I realize she has her own way to deal with grief, and I suspect that's why she did not attend the ceremony. But in all my years serving House Halenair, they have never been the sort to simply let go of family. Please, friend, take the battle standard to her. Alright, and we are well above the level of these guys down here, so I don't need to worry too much about running into one while I jump down here. Oh, but I do need the Gastornises for my hunt log. Therefore, and they are more than 10 levels, so I don't need my chocobo for that. He won't get any experience. One down, and I just need 2 of those. There's another one over there. Oh yeah, Dalmals and Abdellas are needed in this zone, which we might get at some point. Hello there, Anne. Is there something you need? Check out this battle standard. The battle standard from the Steel Vigil. You are too kind. This is a most unexpected gift. Clodabane was a good man, always ready to put his men's needs before his own. They were a family, and they mourned his loss like family, though I wish they had not followed Frankel's example. He insisted on a post in central Kurthis, hoping to avenge him someday, and Clodabane's men were quick to follow suit. But I refused to dwell on the past, grieving at gatherings year after year. It's not what he would have wanted. Nay, he would have me live my own life and fulfill my own dreams. His passing was a great loss to our house, but such hardships are not unfamiliar to us. Times are hard, but we will move forward. And in time, Ishgard will become the great nation he believed it could be, free of war. And pick one. And she's got another for us. Good, good, good. Excuse me, Anne, a moment of your time, if I may. I recently received a special request for assistance with zoological research, but am at a loss as to how to fulfill it. Are you familiar with Galacats? They bear a striking resemblance to kittens, but with wings. An acquaintance of mine is writing an article on their physiology and requires a sample of their wings for her work. Their sweet appearance belies a rather nasty temperament, and if it were simply a matter of slaying them, I would handle it myself. The problem, however, is that taking a proper sample requires a delicate touch, a certain finesse that is beyond the capabilities of my men and myself. Because they are so fragile, you may not obtain a proper sample from the first you fell, but I have no doubt a woman of your talents can procure a wing of immaculate quality. I realize this is a rather personal request, but I would be forever in your debt. All right, well, let's see what we can do then. Oh, there we go. Deliver the sample. How fares your search? I realize obtaining an undamaged Galacat wing is no easy feat. Well, this one happens to be untorn. My, what an extraordinary find. I am pleased to see your persistence has paid off. With this, she can resume her work on Cloudkin. How forgetful of me not to mention it sooner. This sample is meant for Atalun, the renowned naturalist. She's hard at work on a new article for New Eorzean Geographic, and requested a sample be delivered with the utmost haste. You can be sure she will hear it was the incomparable Anne Adventurer who made possible her latest work on Cloudkin. Well, that's cool. And now let's see, back over to Oxzundu, which is where we will finish our stream for today. We're just gonna stop there. We'll resume we'll be playing Infinite Undiscovery tomorrow morning, starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. And then we'll pick back up with Final Fantasy the day after. So today being Tuesday, Thursday will be more Final Fantasy. Same time, 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. And tomorrow is Infinite Undiscovery, where I believe we're getting close to the end of the main story on that one. So it might be worth checking out. Hey Culture, thanks for the lurk, buddy. Good to see you there again. I'm just now winding up the stream, but I'm going to look for a place to raid into. Got a couple in mind here. So anyways, I will be finishing up the stream here. I appreciate y'all taking time out of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and checking me out. So hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. It's been my pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much.